Everyone, welcome to today's Program Yourself Thin podcast. Where we're talking about the most enjoyable holiday possible. Okay, so what I want to talk about is how you can have the most enjoyable holiday possible. Now, you may have a lot of stress coming. You may have to travel, you may have to host, you might have a lot of gifts you got to buy, you have no money to buy them. I don't know. Everyone's got different situations. But no matter what we're dealing with, there's almost guaranteed that you're going to be feeling a lot of stress and you're anticipating perhaps a holiday that's going to be stressful, right? And it's up until now, until the actual days of the actual holidays. And so, what I want you to think about is noticing first off how you may be anticipating, rehearsing in your mind, expecting that holidays are going to be stressful. And I want you to realize that this is mental programming. Okay, so in Programming Yourself Thin, a core part of the program is learning how to rehearse the days the way you want them to go. And so we're going to do the same thing here, but with the holidays. And again, this could be the number of days leading up to holidays. Again, however you define the holidays, it could be one specific day, it could be the whole week, whatever you define it to be. But I want you to first notice that how you may have been anticipating and expecting them to go was kind of stressful and tense. And you've been replaying that in your mind. Now, where does that come from? It probably comes from previous holidays. Maybe you're expected to host everything and cook everything. And so, you take on all this stress. You expect it's going to be stressful, and it is stressful each and every year. But the beauty of rehearsing is that before the situation arises, it's only in our imagination. And of course, there is some reality to how it's gone in the past for how it's going to go in the future. But there's always this little space where we can ask the magical question, how do I want the holidays to go? And I'm going to assume for a lot of you, you would like the holidays to be calm and relaxing and peaceful, enjoyable, a time where you get to be around people you like, a time where you get to express gratitude, reflect on things. Right. So notice this phrasing. Again, these may or may not be things you care about. So insert the thing that matters to you. But when you start saying, how do I want to feel during the holidays? It's the magic. Because instead of just taking the past holiday situations and just projecting them into the future and then living them again, we take a little break. We break reality for a second. We say, okay, that was the past. And this is what the future is going to be. But how do I want the future to go? And we start to give ourselves a little bit of space and a little bit of time to imagine what would be the best holiday that could possibly imagine. And this is something our brain does not tend to do because we tend to do what we did, think what we thought, and we always have a negativity bias on top of it. So a lot of times we project and remember and focus on the things that we didn't even enjoy, or the stress or the frustration or all the work, all the rest of it. And we never give ourselves the chance to look at it and say, how do I want the holidays to go? Right? I know maybe I've got 20 people come over, I'm going to cook for them, but doesn't mean we have to be stressed. It's stressful. I get that, but it doesn't mean that we just have to go into it with this idea that we're going to be stressed because it's so much work. And it's, what if we calm down and relax and say, the way that I want to provide or host these 20 people is I want to do it in a calm, relaxed, grateful way where I enjoy each moment, where I enjoy preparing the food. I enjoy getting the food. I enjoy being with these people. I enjoy hosting them, serving them. And again, it brings a whole nother level of intention. Does it fix everything perfect? Does it remove all the stress? No, of course not. But it can take the stress level from here down to here. And that can feel exponentially better and allow you to get the most enjoyment out of the holidays possible. But again, the secret is that we can't just let the past holidays turn into the future holidays without any say. We want to stop that. We want to break that process and say, wait, okay, I know how they've gone. I know what I'm expecting, but what would be the best possible version? How would the holidays go if I was relaxed, calm, grounded, mindful, grateful, happy, thankful, all the wonderful things that you can feel? What if you took a moment and tapped into those feelings and projected the holidays through those feelings? If you felt more grounded and calm and relaxed and grateful and happy during the holidays, how would they go differently? And this is one of the most beautiful exercises you can do for yourself because it taps into your humanness. It gives you the power to influence what's about to happen. And a lot of times our brain doesn't stop us to do this. We just we just take what we did last year and go right into this year. And then what happens this year goes right into next year. And all of a sudden the holidays are just stressful. I work with some of my clients. Take a step back, ground yourself, calm down and relax, ground yourself in that feeling and then in that mindset. And now see the holidays through that filter, through that feeling. And again, it doesn't have to change things from being stressed to being totally calm. It may not be that perfect thing, but if we go from stress to 30% less stressed. It's a game changer. And what it does is it gives you your ultimate goal, which is that you want to enjoy the holidays as much as you possibly can. And imagining the holidays from a place that you are grounded and feeling good in is one of the best ways to do that. And the more you start to see and imagine the holidays through that focus, through that feeling, you start to imagine yourself acting differently. You imagine yourself having more fun, having more conversations, being more in the moment, connecting, squeezing more enjoyment out of this time of the year. And it can be one of the best techniques I think that there really is. So take a little bit of time and think about that. How do you want the holidays to go? Never mind just being in full reaction mode of how they've gone and anticipating that's how it's going to be again. Take a moment and say, how do I want the holidays to go? If I was relaxed and calm, how can I make that happen? And you start by imagining it. And then you start doing little things to make that happen. If you do this technique and you kind of relax and calm yourself, how do I want the holidays to go? How do I see, let me imagine the holidays if I was relaxed and calm the whole time. Now, I know that's a weird thing for you to maybe do, but if you do it, what you're going to realize is it feels a lot better. And the funny thing is it's going to feel a lot better when it comes. But the more important thing is it feels a lot better now. Because a lot of times, a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month before the holidays hit, we're already anticipating all the stress and the frustration and we're in a frazzled mess. So this technique not only kind of sets us up to have a more successful holiday, but it also makes the lead up to it more enjoyable, right? So start to think of that. And when you start thinking about yourself being calm, relaxed, grounded, thankful, happy during the holidays, your mind starts to think of you behaving differently. And so you not only feel better, but you start to reveal strategies to yourself of how to make it more relaxed and calming. So one of the classic ones, I've been working with my clients this week, and when we go through it, they say, oh, you know what? Fuck it. I'm not going to make the whole lasagna. I'm going to buy the lasagna. I'm going to get it pre-made because that's 4 hours of work, right? I'd rather spend that time with my family. You see? So a lot of times we kind of suppose we've got to do what we did last year. We got to do what mom did for a year. You know what I mean? It's like, we just kind of keep it going without ever saying, wait a second, do I need to do this? And is this serving me? In this moment in time, things change. We need to update our mindset and our strategies for those new realities. Right? And this process helps you do this. So take a little bit of time. It only takes a minute or two. Calm down, relax, ground yourself, and then ask, how do I want the holidays to go? What would be the most enjoyable holiday possible that I could imagine? And then go to work on making that holiday be that version. All right. So I hope this helps you out. And if you want help with this, go to the link in my bio and get the hypnosis session, because nothing will calm and ground you more than this hypnosis session. 10 minutes, you'll feel like a new person. Right. And so not only you get lots of good suggestions, but you feel calm and relaxed. And then you can do this exercise even more effectively. All right. So I hope this helps you out. And if there was any questions, feel free to ask them. What's up, Rachel? Rachel says, I love the question. How can I have the most enjoyable holiday possible? Yeah, it's awesome, right? It really is, because again, it reconnects us to our human power. Our brain, got to watch out. Our brain does what it did. So if we don't step in, we're just going to keep getting the same things we've always gotten, because that's what our brain does. It just wants to keep doing the same thing. The main organizing principle of our brain is to conserve energy. And so our brain doesn't want to be thinking about new things. It just wants to do what we've done in the past, even if it's stressful. This one of my favorite quotes is that people prefer a known hell to an unknown heaven. Right. So it's like, you may like, God damn, I'm stressed. I'm freaking out. Oh, it's Christmas. Oh, you may not like it, but it's familiar to you. Maybe your mom or your dad, maybe growing up, they were always stressed during the holidays. So there's a comfort in it, And so we get comfortable with stress, comfortable with uncomfortable things, but it doesn't have to be that way. Again, that's what we're talking about with evolution, evolve, become a better version of you each and every year. And I think it starts with the question, how can I have the most enjoyable holiday possible? Acknowledging the bullshit, right? Again, listen, I was doing this all morning, right? I'm like, I got to go and do different stuff. There's traffic, all bullshit. And so I'm there and my stress is going up because I'm dealing with this stuff. But then I'm literally asking, how do I want to handle this? How can I deal with it? Just relax, Jim, relax. I'm reminding myself over and over again. So I'm not saying you ask this once and then magically you just have an amazing holiday. What I'm saying is, if your focus is consistently on, how do I want to feel? What kind of holidays do I want to have? Again, it reconnects you to your power and it gives you more influence over how things go. Because if we don't do that, we will tend to just repeat the same shit we've done. So that's a great question. What's up, Jen? Jen says, hi, Jim. Was thinking about this all a lot, working on embracing the something. Perfect is unrealistic and off the rails feels worse. Thank you. Yes, exactly, Jen. And again, for those in the Thrive program, I just recorded it, but this week's hypnosis session and the PYT Club, this week's hypnosis session is I just recorded it. I enjoy myself moderately. And I love this session. I got to tell you, this was such a good session. So yeah, that'll be up there. Maybe I'll put that up today actually. So you'll have it, a couple days ahead of time, but it's so good because again, the real, in my opinion, maybe you don't agree, but I think the most enjoyment you can get is when you're more moderate. Okay. Because then you get the food, you get to eat everything. You never have to say no. So there's no deprivation. But then when you stop at the perfect moment, you not only get the enjoyment of the food, but then you get all the enjoyment of feeling proud of yourself, of feeling successful, of feeling on track. That's the short-term success. And then you get the long-term effect of starting to lose weight, of starting to feel more energized, feeling better about yourself. So again, I enjoy myself moderately is the mantra this week in the Thrive and PYT Club hypnosis session. It's so good. Listen to that, Jen. It's going to help you tremendously with the something, because again, moderation is something mode. We're not saying, no, I can't eat anything. And we're not saying I'm going to eat everything. We're looking for that sweet spot that's the most enjoyable. That's the key. And when you can get that in your head, that moderation is the most enjoyment you can possibly get, not stuffing shit in your mouth. That's not the highest form of enjoyment. We've been tricked into believing it is because they just focus on the consumption phase. But there's always a fucking consequence phase that follows. Always 100% of the time. You can never avoid it. You can try and ignore it, but there's always a consequence phase that follows your eating. The second you stop eating, the consequence phase starts. And there's a short-term consequence that's mostly mental and emotional and physical. And then there's the long-term consequence of your weight, your health, your overall happiness. And when you get good at eating more moderately and stopping at the perfect time, that's how you open yourself up to exponentially more pleasure and enjoyment in your life. And I believe that down to my core. And so this is a great time to practice that. And this session will help you all do that. Rachel says the best version is that I will feel connected to my family with lots of fun conversations, games, walking, sitting by the fireplace, laughing. That's beautiful, right? So again, and it's not that, I'm doing this. I'm hosting Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, so I don't know, whatever. Christmas Eve, I think it's almost 20 people. Christmas Day is like 14, 15 people. So I'm cool as a cucumber over here. Now, again, why? It's not this ain't my first rodeo. I've done this for a while, so I have strategies and plans, and it gets easier and easier and better every year. I get more and more strategic. My core strategy revolves around getting this stuff, because I hate crowds with a passion. So it's like, but again, I'm not just started bragging, but it's like, if you focus on how can I have the best holiday possible, it's not that hard. You know what I mean? Like, again, you can make it better pretty easily, so I hope that for you all. But again, it's where's your focus aiming at? Are you focused on, hanging out with your family, having fun conversations, playing games, walking, sitting by the fireplace and laughing? Or are you focused on, are you gonna be cooking all day? Oh my God, I got to do this. And I can do that. And I can do that. And I can do that. Again, you can still have all those things to do, but you can do them in a more calm, relaxed, grounded, and grateful way. And you do the same stuff. You're going to do it anyways. So you can influence how you do it. And hey, guess what? It turns out that's like your life. Like how we do the things that we have to do is that's what you called your life. So why not do it in a more enjoyable way that you like? It's not that hard. It does take practice to get yourself thinking that way. But once you think that way, how can I have a more enjoyable holiday? Ideas start flowing because it's a great question and it focuses your brain in another direction. And a lot of times we're not asking that question. We're just presupposing that it's going to go the way it's always gone. And we never really break that trance. So yeah, that's great, Rachel. That's so perfect. And again, now Rachel's got all these ideas in her head, and again, not that she doesn't probably have some things she has to do too, but she's more focused as well on the things that she's really looking forward to. And so her chances of experiencing those go way up. Jen said, I've been doing the moderation, but as a lifelong dieter, it's still an adjustment, even though it feels good being patient with myself. Yeah, exactly, Jen. You got to be patient with yourself. It's a skill you're developing. I always say like eating more moderately is like developing a golf swing, right? So you could watch like videos on how to have a perfect golf swing. You could hire a teacher and they could work with you. That doesn't mean you're going to have a perfect golf swing at the end of the lesson, right? Why? Why not? Why can't you just learn how to have a perfect golf swing and have one? You ever wonder that? Why not? Something wrong with you? You don't got enough willpower to have a perfect golf swing at the end of one lesson? Why? What's wrong with you? Why can't you have a perfect golf swing with one lesson? Why? Because you have to practice it, right? Just knowing the steps to have a perfect golf swing is not the same as being able to have a perfect golf swing. And it's the same with moderation. Knowing what moderation is and understanding why it's great is one thing. Being able to do it consistently is another thing. It's very much like having a golf swing, riding a bike, learning another skill, drawing, playing a musical instrument. Knowing what to do and being able to do it are two totally different things. Knowing what to eat and being able to do it consistently are two totally different things. And you'll notice that you only focus on one side of that equation, what to do. So, Jen, I love that. Being patient with yourself, exactly, because you've got to be patient with yourself. There's no other option. How about that? You literally don't have a choice. You know what, folks? You're either going to be patient with yourself or you're going to quit. How about that? Those are your options. So, great job, Jen. TikTok. Are we still going to be here, TikTok? Getting nervous. What's up, Katie? Let's see. Scrolling. Hope I don't miss anyone's things. If I do, I'm sorry. If I don't get your question, if I missed it. Oh, shit. There it was. So the question, it jumped forward. All right, I'm going to get it, though. All right. Come on. All right, there it is. Ken said, typo during the live yesterday, 10 weeks of mastery and down 15 pounds, 25% of journey to goal weight. Great job, Ken. That's still great. Yeah, that's super. I mean, any weight loss is good, again, so that's successful. Love that. 25% of journey to goal weight. That's so great. Let me screenshot of that. And yeah, 10 weeks. That's good. People be feeling better about those numbers. Great job, Ken. You're killing it. Super pleased with progress. Yeah, I bet. That's got to feel so good. And I love that. Again, Ken, man, you're just absorbing this program like a master here, because I love even the percentage, right? One of the things Ken's doing is, and I suggest you all do this, is take your weight loss and convert it into a percentage of your overall goal, right? So, for example, if you want to lose 40 pounds, and you've lost 10 pounds, don't just keep saying, I lost 10 pounds. It starts to lose meaning in our mind because there's no context to it. So saying, I lost 10 pounds, it starts to feel like nothing. But when you say I'm 25% away to my goal, it starts to give you context to where you're at, and it feels a lot better. So great job with the percentages, and great job with the results, right? Because again, the way you've accomplished it, I always say like put that how quickly you lose weight is second to how comfortably you lost weight. You know what I mean? Like that's the opposite of a dieter's thinking. But I think when you focus on living at your goal weight, it's really important that you make this distinction, because it's not just about losing weight. It's about living at your goal weight. And the only way that you can live at your goal weight is if you do it comfortably in a way that's sustainable. So always keep that part in mind too. But great job with the percentages and great job with the results there. Nice job. Let's see here. I appreciate people listening about weight loss right before Christmas. I love that. It makes me so happy. Because again, it's not necessarily a time to, lose weight. A lot of times, for me anyways, and what I recommend for a lot of people, the best step forward for a lot of people is kind of minimizing the damage, focus on maintenance. D says, hi, Jim. I'm in the mastery program and I've been listening to the hypnosis daily for 2 months. Nice job. I haven't lost any weight. Wondering if you have any advice. Yeah, sure. I mean, here's the thing I will say, that weight loss happens differently for different people. And there's a couple of reasons for that. The first one's just purely physical. You could take two people and reduce their calories by the same amount percentage wise in each of them. And one will lose more than the other, considerably more. So people lose weight at different rates. And I think it's really important that you understand that, because calorie calculators never really, they can't explain this. No one could explain it. Why one person loses weight quickly and one doesn't. There's no way to predict it. You just don't know. And I mean, this is over and over again. Go check it out. Go look at studies about when they put people in metabolic labs, they're tracking every calorie, groups of people, and they lose wildly different amounts of weight in the same amount of time. So that's number one. So who gives a shit, really? Because again, what we're really after here ultimately is weight mastery. And so what I would say, and I think this is really important, is obviously we're going to keep an eye on the weight and what's happening with our weight during the program and in life. Okay. Because that's one of the main things we're factoring in. I get that. But the main thing that you really ought to focus on is your process. Okay. So if you're in the mastery program, so, well, you got through the mastery program for 8 weeks. I've listened to all the hypnosis session. I haven't lost any weight. Okay. And I know you're not happy about that. I get that. But my question to you is, what have you changed? Right. So you're in the program. So you know about, mindset blueprints, lifestyle blueprint, eating blueprints, how to do the redo rehearsal technique. And so now the question is to look at those things and say, have I consistently been doing the redo rehearsal technique? A. How much progress have I made with my worst eating habit, right? Because we start with our worst eating habit, focusing on that. How much progress have you made? So again, I don't want to just look at the weight. As a matter of fact, the weight loss really is secondary to me because again, remember cause and effect. You can't lose weight. No one can lose weight, by the way, just so you know. You understand that? You can't lose weight. How do you lose weight? What did you say? Oh, you eat less? Okay. Well, that's not losing weight. That's eating less. So understand what I'm saying here. This is literal. You can't lose weight. You can eat less. You can live healthier. And through some magical process that you have no control over time, your weight goes down. This is really important to understand because you can't control the effect. You can't make money. You can't make money. You can work harder. You can get a second job and you'll have more money coming at you. But you can't make money. You can't lose weight. So this distinction is really important because it gets us focused on the process. And so my question to you, Dee, if I was coaching you right now, is I would ask you, I say, okay, I haven't lost weight. I don't care about that part because that part we really have no control over. What I want to know, and listen to the hypnosis sessions, great. But remember that the hypnosis sessions are there to help you change your behaviors. And so you're in the mastery program. So you understand how to look at what you're doing, right? And so what's your worst eating habit? How much progress have you made with that? That's what I'm concerned with, and you've either made progress with it or you haven't, but that thing's under your control. See, a lot of times we trick ourselves. We say, I didn't lose weight. Yeah, because you're still eating the same amount of calories, most likely. Now, again, there is a time factor. Like I first said, there's always a time factor, no doubt. But if you get into 2, 3, 4 months and you're not losing weight, it's almost a guarantee because you haven't reduced calories. So we always, because if you're like, I haven't lost weight, you feel lost. I don't know what to do. But it's very easy to know what to do. I just need to bring my focus back over to my behaviors. What am I doing day in and out? And again, in the program, you've learned how to break down your behaviors, mindset-wise, lifestyle-wise, eating-wise, so you can start to diagnose what's going on. So again, I don't give a shit. Personally, I don't care if someone loses weight in 8 weeks or not. It makes very little difference to me because I'm looking for you to master this process. And so you get through 8 weeks and now you say, well, I didn't lose any weight. Well, now you have a more enhanced ability to look at your day, your week, and start to analyze your worst eating habit. How have you done with that? Now we can talk turkey. You know what I mean? Like now we can talk specific stuff. He's like, oh, I haven't lost weight. I don't know. I don't know why. You know what I mean? But if we talk about your worst eating habit, how have you done with that? So it says, my worst eating habit's eating at night. Okay. How have you done with that? I've cut it down by 40%. And I haven't lost any weight in 4 weeks. Okay. Then now I'm way more about the time thing. And I say, how's your nighttime eating going? Well, I've been kind of struggling with it. Okay. Well, now I know why you're not losing weight. We need to focus on cutting that down more. Let's try some other stuff. You've been trying things that hasn't worked. Let's try some other stuff. You see what I mean? So it's always this solution-oriented mindset. And it's always focusing on the process because it's the eating you're doing primarily. It's the lifestyle you lead that leads to the eating you're doing, but it's the amount of calories you're consuming that's controlling your weight. And so it gets very disorienting to say, I haven't lost any weight. It confuses us. If you look over to the behaviors, it's much more concrete. You're either making progress with your worst eating habit or you're not. You know what I mean? And now it's much more specific of a conversation to have. And now you have a way to move forward. And so I don't like 2 months in, ideally, obviously, yeah, I want you to lose weight and all the rest of it, but I don't really give a shit because anyone can just lose weight. I want you to master this process. And so now you're in a more enhanced ability to say, okay, what's working, what's not? What else can I change? And as long as you stay in that mindset, Garrett, I don't know how you can't succeed with that mindset personally. Because again, it takes whatever comes at you and it utilizes it and moves you forward. So I hope that makes sense. And again, hit me back here. If you want, let me know what your worst eating habit is and how that's been going. Let me know what's improving here. But that's my advice to you is, again, you're becoming more sensitive, more aware, better at the process. And whether the weight, again, I bring it back. It's so funny. I was thinking to myself, someone I've been working with in my boot camp for 4 months. And she's brilliant. She's really, really smart. I mean, she got, advanced degrees and all the rest of it. And I was thinking about her today when I was driving, and I was like, in a weird way, I'm like, okay, maybe her advanced degree she spent 6 years getting, right? And I'm like, well, imagine if she's like through a first semester as a freshman, and she's like, oh my God, this isn't working. I don't know how to do. Say she's going to get a degree in accounting. I don't know how to be an accountant yet. Oh my, this isn't working. I don't know accounting. I can't get a job as an accountant. Well, yeah, because you just finished your first semester, So once we start looking at this process of one of learning things, you start to break it down. It's like, oh, I'm going to learn to play the piano. And 2 months in, you're like, hey, geez, I can't play a song hardly. Well, yeah, the time frame is longer than you thought it was. But again, I'm not saying it's not. Who cares? I mean, sometimes we lose weight quickly, sometimes we lose slowly. But if you keep focusing on your behaviors and mastering them with the tools in the program, you just keep getting better and better and better and better at it. So that's my advice. Sweet Quest says, I bought both programs, got C19, and then said I would wait till January, but maybe I need it now. What's C19? Oh, COVID-19. Yeah. Okay. Then it said I would wait till January. Yeah, you definitely need it now. Sweet. Yeah, of course. You listen to it now. You know that. I mean, come on. Program Yourself Thin is, I always say this, but Program Yourself Thin is the only weight loss program on the planet that you ever do during the holidays. Because again, we're flexible, right? Again, the holidays and again, if you're locked in, just killing it, then knock yourself out. It's all or something time in Program Yourself Thin land. And for most people, that means something time. It is for me, So, but Program Yourself Thin, it's not about restricting. It's not about dieting. It's not deprivation. It's about relaxing and calming mostly during the holidays. I mean, the lessons we've had this month has been how to thrive during the holidays, calm holidays, all or something, and permission to enjoy yourself is this week's lesson. Just I'm saying, like, again, it's dieting can't just be about the fucking restricting. And that's what it is for all of you. And so you can only do it when it's not holiday time, when it's not vacation time, when it's not party time, when it's not, and you have no flexibility, no ability to stay in the game when things get holiday-y, when treats all of a sudden around. You have no ability to eat some cookies and still be on track somewhat. And so for me, December's being on track is I really focus more on sleep, gratitude, meditation, calming down, relaxing. Because it is more stressful. I don't typically host 20 people 2 days in a row regularly. Like that's an outlier thing. Like I'm buying gifts for all people. Like, it's just, there's a lot of new stuff, stuff that's extra. And so my stress level's higher. So my main focus during the holidays, really most of it comes down to reducing my stress so I can enjoy the holidays more. And when I enjoy the holidays more and I'm more calm, I tend to make more moderate decisions. I put a couple pounds on during the holidays and I'm fine with that because I know in January, I'm just going right back to what I always do. So yeah, Sweet Quest, listen to the hypnosis sessions. I mean, what I'm trying to say is that when the holidays come around, you don't have to say no to all the, you don't have to make yourself miserable. You're not going to. But again, a dieter mind, you think I have to say no to everything and that's going to suck. So I'm going to wait. But what if you thought about your weight mastery? Well, there's sometimes that I'm on my weight mastery path and I'm actively eating less and losing weight. Sometimes I'm on my weight mastery path and I'm eating more and I'm putting a couple pounds on, and that's fine too. But the whole time I want to stay grounded and calm. That's what Program Yourself Thin is. Because wouldn't your holidays go better if you were more relaxed and calm? And if you're more relaxed and calm, isn't it more likely that you'll just make better choices naturally and you'll probably put less weight on just because of that? And it's this idea, if we put a couple pounds on, who gives a shit? It's not the end of the world, So yeah, I would definitely say use it now. What's up, Tabitha? But I get it, Sweet Quest. I get it. It's the mindset thing, Yeah, dieters, it's the all or nothing thing, So I get it. You're not alone. What's up, Wasabi? I see you there, Wasabi. The best username in town. Wasabi Nakabi. I love rhymes. I love rhyming words. Sweetcast, so far I've lost 6 in December. Hey, nice job. Look at you. All right. That's something else. Good for you. Great job. Her says, I've been watching your TikTok. I've been good the past 7 days, but I just binged chocolate. What should I do? Oh, that's okay. Big deal. Again, that's what I'm saying. Like, you dieters, you think you have to be perfect to succeed. And perfection's an impossible goal. So it sets you up for failure right from the get-go. So instead of that, say, who gives a shit? So you've had 7 days where you've done great. You know what I mean? Okay, here's what you do. When you binge chocolate, you have 7 days where you did great, and then one day where you binge chocolate. What your brain does is it zooms in. It zooms into that day where you binge chocolate. You have to intentionally zoom out and say, holy shit, look at me. Wow. 7 days I did great. I messed up a little bit there, but wow, overall, 7 out of 8 days in right during the holidays, December. Holy shit. And those 7 days weren't that hard. Wow. Great. Now let me get back on track. It's not a big deal. And the first step to getting back on track is to realize that you're never, ever, listen, all of you, you're never, ever in your life going to be perfect forever. It's not even an option. And that's what you dieters think. You really just bullshitting yourselves thinking that some magical Monday you'll wake up and you'll just be perfect forever. And it's never going to happen. I'm letting you know now. Don't believe me? So instead of thinking you're going to be perfect and then trying to be perfect and then feeling completely devastated when you're not, first mistake you make, zoom out and say, holy shit, 7 out of 8 days, I did amazing. Nice job. Now I'm going to be back on track. I mean, Program Yourself is literally built around the redo rehearsal technique, which is a technique you use when you make a mistake so you can get back on track, because mistakes are kryptonite to dieters. They literally call it the what the hell effect. Dieters are famous for making a little mistake and letting it completely derail them. So one way to look at it is look over the 7 days, how, again, you said, I've been so good. I don't know exactly what that means, but whatever it means, if you cut calories, look how many calories you cut over 7 days, multiply it by 7, and then think about how much calories you ate when you binge chocolate. And you're going to see most likely that during the week, you're absolutely in a calorie deficit. You reduced your calories overall. So congratulations. Again, you got to be able to absorb mistakes because you're going to make mistakes. And, so I'm just going to say that one there. And again, in Program Yourself, then we would absolutely, again, the redo rehearsal technique is what do I do when I binge? Well, you learn from it and you go back in your mind and play it through the way you want it to go. So you can train your brain what you want to do in situations like that instead, because you're always going to make mistakes. You need to have a strategy for how you're going to deal with them. And most dieters have no strategy for how they're going to deal with mistakes. What they tend to do when they make mistakes is they either beat themselves up, they just try and ignore it, or they just quit. So again, it's no big deal. Celebrate the 7 days. The chocolate binge is no big deal, and then just go back on track. Arzu says, I take Monjuro. Good for you. I lost 20 kilograms with Monjuro. Arzu, Monjuro. So many zeros, so many O's. That's great. Good for you, Arzu. Her says, wow, that's so true. No one can actually lose weight. Yeah. Right. That's, not to get all, that's profound concept though, right? I think it is. KT says I was on GLP-1 for 15 months. And all I can say is as soon as you stop taking it, you'll probably gain it back. Yeah. That's a fact. Just so we all know. That's a fact. Most people lose weight when they take it. Okay. That's a fact. Most people. But most people put the weight right back on when they come off of it. That's a fact too. So again, it's, I'm not here to, I don't care, but you all can lose weight however you want to. But I want to make clear that what we're talking about here really has nothing to do with any of those weight loss drugs, because this really isn't about weight loss. It's about weight mastery. And not only that, it's about taking your weight loss and wrapping it in personal development, because really it's about becoming the best version of you possible. So again, really what we're doing here is much bigger than just losing weight, than just all of a sudden taking a drug and now you're not hungry and so you eat less. To me, that's almost like being a dry drunk. And it's a concept that I believe in, because the concept of dry drunk is that, an alcoholic who just stops drinking cold turkey, but they never do any of the work to kind of figure out what led them to be alcoholic in the first place. And some people don't need to do it. So again, great to you. Okay. But I find most people, you're using the food for emotional reasons, psychological reasons. There's reasons why you're overeating. There's a psychological reason, self-image, your motivation, what your goal is, how you handle emotions, how you manage your habits, how you think, how you're going to maintain, how you're living your life, how you feel. Again, so to me, the fact that you're taking an injection and you're not hungry and now you eat less, I'm happy for you, but that's just like one level of what we're doing here. You know what I mean? Like it's a way deeper process. And I'm not saying it's better or worse. It's just it's what it's the people that like the process. We're overthinkers. We're very focused on, other things, as well as just losing the weight. So again, there's 8 billion people on the planet, so we all get to choose what path we want to walk. But I'm happy for you. So if the mantra is working for you and that's the way you want to go with it, I'm happy for you. Knock yourself out. No, yeah. So obviously that's what made me not try it, is that, once you take it, and again, I mean, those medicines are not well tested. They've been testing for 20 years, which, by the way, is not well tested in my book. They did that with what was the medicines? Ah, shit. Now I can't remember the medicine it was. I think it was like an antipsychotic, maybe, but they I can't remember the medicine, but they used it and they're like, oh, it's safe, it's safe, it's safe. And it turns out it wasn't until people got into their advanced years that they started to notice that medicine was actually causing dementia. So the thing with that medicine, and again, I'm not saying it's going to do that. I have no idea, and I don't want it to, obviously, but they've tested on diabetics for 20 years. They haven't tested it for long on people that aren't diabetic. So again, it's how people respond to this over time is really the big question. And again, just do it with your eyes open. But I'm happy that you're losing weight and getting towards your goal, if that's your goal. What's up, John? John says, doing the daily mantras. Some don't seem to hit home, but I listen to them anyhow and hope they are working. Yeah, that's fine. Of course. So in the program, I mean, there's 57 daily mantras. Each day you get a 5-minute hypnosis session built around a daily mantra. So obviously the law of statistics, 57, some are going to resonate, some aren't. That's fine. But remember, John, every time you listen to a session, I swear, I really start to believe more and more. It's not the words I'm saying. Well, it's not the suggestions for weight loss that are like even the main benefit. I'm really starting to believe this. The main thing, I swear, at least it's 50-50, I don't know, is that you're relaxing and calming down. John? So even if the mantras, you're like, I don't know, these mantras aren't really hitting home. Even if that's the case, you're still taking 5 minutes and you're turning your attention inward, you're relaxing your body, you're connecting to your breath, you're becoming more sensitive and aware to what you think, what you feel, how you behave, to what you do. That, I think, is the most important thing. Then there's the suggestions. Some mantras hit home, some don't. But even when the mantras don't hit home, usually there's ideas in there that are still helping you out. So don't have this, not every mantra can hit the same way. It's just impossible because everything's relative. So we start to rank things in our mind. So but it's still working because you're still listening to it and you're still relaxing, you're still focusing on your weight, your health inside, all the rest of it. And so that's happening whether the mantra really hits home or not. All right. And so realize that that's a big part of it. Nura says, thoughts on 36-hour fast 3 times a week as a woman. My thoughts are that that's stupid. I don't think you're ever going to stick with that. That's my thoughts. I think you're going to do it in the first week or two, maybe you'll do it and it'll be easy and fine because you're so fired up and excited to lose weight. And at some point, very quickly, that excitement will wear off and you'll dread those 3 days, those 3 times when they come up. That's what I think will happen to you. And so again, you're fixated on losing weight quickly, obviously, because that's an extreme plan right there. And I think what'll happen is you'll start losing weight, but your quality of life will go down so much that you will not stick with that. And you will put all the weight back on that you lost. Same with water fasts, same with keto, same with 1,000 calories a day. Same with tracking all your calories, same with counting your points, same with every fucking diet you can think of. Same exact story. You get excited and you're able to do it for a little while, and then it starts to reduce your overall quality of life and you stop doing it. That's what I think of a 36-hour fast. So, I think it's going to be short-term sweet relief, and then it's going to lead to you weighing exactly what you weigh or more. Ultimately, that's what I think. You might be an outlier and you might just absolutely love fasting. You could be that person too. So I would experiment with it if you want, but if and when you start to dread it, don't feel like you're broken. It's not that you're broken. It's that that's a ridiculously difficult, extreme plan to follow. So it's not that you don't have willpower. It's not that you're fucked up and a broken person. It's that that's a stupid strategy, most likely for you. So just remember that. And so if it doesn't work, don't blame yourself, blame the strategy. This is stupid. Why would I not eat 3 times a week for 36 hours? It's going to take more energy out of you than it gives you, most likely. And you're not going to stick with it, and you're going to feel discouraged and frustrated. And then you're going to lose some weight with it, and then you're going to put it all back on. Do I sound negative enough? Because I don't know how to sound any more negative about it. But if I could, I would. Because I think that there's almost no chance in hell that you're going to succeed long-term with that plan. Ken says, worst habit was lunch. Started making extra of my healthy dinner. Had leftovers for lunch next day. Look at that. See, that's what I mean. Kent, you're a savant with this. For real. I mean this too. That's brilliant, right? That's a strategy. That's strategy, baby. And so he focused right on his lunch habit, and he strategized it. And what I mean by strategy, like I'm talking about real solutions. See, you dieters just anticipate and expect the worst. You just got to fight against yourself forever. That's why you're never going to win. And Kent here is proving to you how strategy trumps willpower all day long, because now he's got a plan, and it's a plan that really resonates for him, right? Because now, not only that's such a great plan. So he makes extra of his healthy dinner. It's easier to eat a little less of it because they just have more of it on the lunch. And so now lunch is enjoyable. He likes it. It's healthy. It's right in his range, and it's helping him transform his worst habit comfortably for the long term. That's a long-term strategy. So that's brilliant. And so that's set up for long-term success. That's beautiful. And that's the example of strategy over willpower. I'll take that all day long over your 36-hour fast 3 days a week. You might lose 10 pounds a week for 2 weeks, and then you put it all back on. Kent's going to be dropping his weight all the way. Kent next year will be right at his goal weight. He will be 100% at his goal weight. I can almost guarantee it based on what I've heard from you, Kent. And it's getting strategically, that strategy trumps you trying to not eat lunch. That's what you dieters would do. I'm not going to eat breakfast and lunch. I really need to lose weight. Yeah. And then you're going to be so hungry by the afternoon, you're going to eat everything in sight. Meanwhile, Ken's eating his leftovers, and he's satisfied and comfortable, and he's got a plan for tonight and tomorrow and the foreseeable future and the extended future. So how's that not going to be a better plan than the diet? I'm not making shit up here. You're going to tell me that diet's a better plan than that? How dare you? There's no way. John says, thanks so much for what you do. I like getting to the calm place. Yeah, I bet. Exactly, John. That's what I'm talking about. I've had a paradigm shift over the last couple of weeks here, that the hypnosis sessions, it's really about, you got to think about it. The hypnosis is just like meditation, and meditation is supremely powerful to help you change your weight because it makes you more aware. And the hypnosis is helpful because it's specifically, I'm a yoga instructor. You know what I mean? Like, I've been meditating for 30 years. So this shit is so strategic, but it's like when I bring him to the hypnosis session 5 minutes every day, it's not just the words and the suggestions I put in your head. It's the experience of stepping into a calm, relaxed place every day, even just for 5 minutes. It infects your day. It infects your mind, how you think, how you live, how you act all day long. So yeah, I like getting that calm place. I love that you say that. Yeah, you get addicted to it. It feels really nice. And when you're in a more calm place in your life, you naturally tend to make better food choices. Don't you? So I don't know why people overlook that so much, but glad you said that, John. What's up, Christina? Christina says, love the redo rehearsal techniques. It's a real eye opener and brain shaker. Yeah, absolutely. Redo rehearsal technique is the shit. I think at the core of it, program yourself then to me is the redo rehearsal technique. I mean, all the other stuff is so important to it. It's just right there. But the redo rehearsal technique is the mental equivalent of brushing your teeth. It's something we do every night. Takes a minute or two, but it's like we reflect on our day. We, rehearse for tomorrow. And, I don't know, it's just so amazing because what it lets us do, we can make mistakes and we can recover from them instantly. What do you do when you make a mistake as a dieter? I know what you do. You beat yourself up, you ignore it, or you quit. And so I'm programming myself then. We always do the redo rehearsal technique. And we make a mistake, no big deal. We learn and grow from it that night. And so it gets you right back on track. And I don't know. You dieters are you're running away from mistakes because you're absolutely terrified of them. Program yourself, then be able to mind making mistakes because they grow and learn from them. That's how you become the person you want to be, is through your mistakes, right? Well, that's one of our mantras. Mistakes are your greatest teachers. So yeah, Christine, I agree. I love that technique. It's the cornerstone of all of it. Dr. Helen says, what's your opinion on drinking protein water? I would say no. Nope. I don't want protein water. I drink regular water. God, protein. I've just got this book too. It's called Proteinaholic. I cannot wait to read it. But I would definitely not want to. And I don't even know what the hell protein water is, by the way. But I don't want to drink calories. By the way, okay, I don't want to drink calories because you don't get as much bang for your buck with those calories. Your body doesn't know how to process drink liquid calories. Think about it. In the natural world, where are you drinking calories? I know you're saying milk, but we weren't drinking milk for most of history. So your body doesn't, you can drink a lot of calories. You don't get the satiation. You don't get the satiety from liquid calories that you do from actual calories. So I would never have, I don't have any liquid calories. I think I do some wine on the weekends is really about it. I would really seek to avoid and minimize liquid calories as much as possible, not add to it. So that's my thoughts. What's up, Elaine? Elaine says those medications were meant for other medical conditions, not losing weight. Yeah, agreed. It was a side effect. That's what I'm saying. Like they were using, I think you all know this probably, but the GLP-1s they were using to help type 2 diabetics. It helps your pancreas create more insulin. So it helps insulin resist. I don't know. Again, a lot of people don't understand insulin resistance and all this, which is crazy considering how many people have it. But basically, you eat a lot of high foods that spike your glucose level, which is your blood sugar, right? So the glucose that goes in your blood and elevates your glucose levels, which is dangerous and toxic. And so our body releases insulin to clear out the glucose. But we do this so much that eventually the cells become resistant to insulin. So we have to create more insulin. And eventually the pancreas gets kind of tapped out and it can't produce enough insulin. And so this GLP-1 helps the pancreas create more insulin. That was the original, benefit and what it did for people. But then they found out it had the side effect of it. It was dialing down people's hunger tremendously. And then they started using it with people that weren't diabetic. And so here we are. So, yeah, I mean, that's the reality of it. Is it innocuous? Is it going to not do anything bad to people? I hope so. And probably, but to me, I don't think that medicine is a good long-term strategy. Again, let me just put them side by side and you can all decide for yourself. Okay. You can take an injection and the best case scenario is you feel really full all the time and you eat less food and you lose weight. Okay. And again, we don't know long-term what it's going to do. We don't know long-term if you'll lose weight all the way to your goal weight, if it'll consist, if it'll maintain. We're not really sure about that yet. There's just not enough evidence yet. But there's that. The other side is that you learn how to master your weight. You learn to master your weight by learning how to master your mindset, your lifestyle, and your eating. You create a mindset where you're genuinely motivated. You're feeling good about who you are. You're transforming your identity to a thin, healthy, happy person. You're learning how to control your habits. You're learning how to influence your emotions. You're learning how to think like a thin and healthy person naturally and automatically. You're learning how to maintain your new identity, your new weight, your new level of health automatically or nearly automatically. You start living a lifestyle where you're sleeping more, you're well hydrated, you're relaxed, you're breathing better, you're nourishing your body with genuine good nourishment. You're moving more, you're meditating, quieting your mind down, more centered, grounded, and aware of yourself. You're more grateful. We're practicing gratitude and feeling gratitude in our lives. We're taking control of our eating. We're eating more healthy, nourishing foods. We're learning how to eat moderately. We're learning how to eat for clean pleasure days where we fuel our body primarily. And we also have pleasure days where we get to enjoy food moderately and live at our goal weight forever. And the whole process serves for us to become the best version of ourselves so that our relationships are better. We're a better version of ourselves. We think more clearly, we feel better, and we act more in line with what we want to do. So which one do you want? Now, again, I know lots of people just want the injection and lose the weight. And I'm happy for you. 8 billion people on the planet, knock yourself out. I don't care. But there's a whole lot of people that want that too. And that's what I'm here for. So that's what I'm trying to say. They're two totally different things. Yeah, we got weight loss in common. That's literally it. You take that shit, now you're not hungry anymore. You haven't transformed your eating. You're not nourishing your body. You're not more relaxed and calm. You don't have a healthier self-image. You don't have a healthier, more positive, optimistic mindset. You don't have a healthier lifestyle where you feel energized, happy, healthy, and control your weight. You don't know how to deal with your emotions. You don't know how to deal with your habits. You don't know how to change your self-image. You don't know how to change your thinking. So again, so if I don't give a shit about that shit, Jim, then I get that there's all different people in the world. So I respect you. I care for you and I'm happy that you're getting the results you want. But then there's a lot of people that want all those things. And that's what I'm here for again. So I think that, Yeah, that's the path I'm on. And that's the path, the people I work with are on. So yeah, Vicky just said, love listening to the solution-oriented mindset. That is right. That's a great lesson. That's one we just did. If you're in the mastery program, that's this week's lesson, and it's a banger. It's a real good lesson. I think is the core of everything we're doing ultimately. What's up, Carol? Carol says the daily hypnosis sets me up for success every day. Love them. Yeah, of course, Carol. Right? Yeah, of course they set you up for success, folks. Think about your day. Your day. It's kind of like what I was just talking about. I started earlier talking about how to have the best holiday possible, and the key part of doing that is to stop for a second, because a lot of times what's happening is last Christmas turns into this Christmas because we project into this Christmas how last Christmases have gone, and we never break that process. It just goes from last Christmas to this Christmas, and we just keep thinking of Christmas past, and we project them into the future and relive them to some degree. Stressed out, frustrated, tense, da 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 da. But if we stop that for 1 second, if we break that from back here to up here, if we stop for a second in the middle and say, whoa, let me relax and calm down. Let me ground myself. Oh, okay. How do I want the holidays to go? Hey-oh. You know what I mean? It's like we drove off the off ramp. You know what I mean? I said, wait, how do I want it to go? Oh, I want to be more relaxed and calm. Holy shit. The fuck? It's my life here. God, sometimes we get this whirlwind. It just keeps moving forward, and we just stop for a second. How do I want it to go? I want to be more relaxed and calm. I want to enjoy myself. I want to have be more peaceful. Again, does it guarantee it goes that way? No, but is it more likely to go that way if we say that stuff, if we ground ourselves? I think so. And so that example is the same thing we're doing each and every day. Each and every day, we're in the same loop where yesterday's going to be tomorrow. And we're just always, if you live in America, are you telling me you're not up to here with stress? Are you telling me you're not in a chronic state of stress? Really? Really? Though? You're not in a chronic state of stress? You're not tense? Really? Really? Because I've not met too many people that aren't in a pretty consistent chronic state of stress. So yeah, the daily hypnosis, just 5 minutes. It doesn't take a lot of time. That's what I'm trying to say. 5 minutes of calming, relaxing, grounding yourself each and every morning. You get used to it. You get good at it. And it sets you up. The rest of the day is different. You can live the same day, but if you start 5 minutes of just really calming down, centering yourself, relaxing, it starts to nudge you to have a healthier, happier day each day. And that all starts to build on itself. So yeah, I agree. I thank you. I appreciate you saying that, Carol. Oops, shit. Katie says they were for diabetes, but some like Wegovy are purely for weight loss now. But understand, Katie, that Wegovy and Ozempic are the exact same medicine. They're just marketed different. Just so we know, there's no difference to the medicine. Not yet. Wegovy actually is starting to test adding some other shit into it. But wait, maybe I'm not messing it up. No, Mounjaro, I think, is the one that is starting to add new stuff. But I think it's Wegovy. I'm blanking on this stuff now, but I'm pretty sure Ozempic is the diabetes medicine, and then Wegovy is the exact same thing, but it's for weight loss. But they're the same medicine. At least they have been. Just Kelly says, hi, Jim. This is Kelly. I have a hard time envisioning the thin and healthy me. Any suggestions? Yeah, what I would suggest is that don't worry so much about envisioning it and seeing it in your mind. Instead, connect to what the feelings will be. If you were thin, healthy, and happy, how would you feel? I feel relaxed and calm. I feel relief. I feel good. Great. Feel that. You know what I mean? So don't just worry about what you're going to look like. Think about how you're going to feel. What are you going to think? If you were thin, healthy, and happy, like genuinely, like really step into that identity and that being, how would you think? How would you think about yourself? I'm happy with myself. I love myself. I can't wait to eat something good. I feel in control. So it's what I think, what I say to myself, what I feel, and then what I see. Okay, so that's my suggestion to you. What I say to myself, how do you talk to yourself when you're happy with yourself, when you feel successful? That's going to be hard for you to do. So maybe we'll start, let's start with feelings. But, we create feelings by what we think. So again, it's a chicken or the egg thing. But you can go, what would you feel at your goal weight? Thin, healthy, and happy. If you were totally, completely in control of your weight. Now you say, well, I don't know what that feels like. Yeah, you do. You can imagine it. You can imagine being in control of something. And it's going to sound weird. But Like you're confident about tying your shoe. You know how to tie your shoe. You know how to drive your car to the grocery store, right? These are things you know so well, you just take it for granted. So what would it feel like if you felt that way with your weight? And I know it's a stretch, right? Because you haven't done it, but it's easier to step into the feelings than it is to visualize clearly in your mind what it's going to look like for a lot of people. Okay. So focus more on the feelings you'll have and experience, what you'll say to yourself, and then you can work on what you'll look like in your mind. But that's the least important one. The most important one is the feelings you have, and then what you say to yourself in your head. What's in the cup, Jim? It's just coffee. It's kind of a giant coffee, right? Yeah. Is this pre-recorded? No, this is live. Are you watching your protein intake? No, I never watch my protein intake. I haven't watched my protein intake in 30 years. And you're never gonna believe this, folks. I'm a vegetarian. And to that I say, the protein stuff is way overblown. How's about that? And I say that to you, you don't believe me, but if protein deficiency is such a fucking issue, don't you find it odd that you've never taken a protein test? You ever taken a protein deficiency test in your life? When you go get your physical? Huh? No? You ever know anyone's got one? I know they exist. I know there's always some people, yeah. But the vast majority, you have no idea. You know, the protein thing is way overstated. And protein's important. I'm not saying it's not important. I'm saying it's overstated. And so yeah, I haven't tracked my protein at all. And here I sit. Anyways. Which I'm not saying you all don't do that, you know. I'll talk to your doctors first. Soul Speaker, is it safe to eat the same thing every day for months? Ooh, I hope so. I hope so. I don't know what you mean though. Like I eat the same breakfast. I've eaten the same breakfast for decades, Monday through Friday. I eat the same lunch Monday through Thursday for the last 5-6 years. My dinners are different night to night, but they're the same dinners typically week to week. Basically, you know, it's got kind of the same basic ingredients, you know. So I hope that's safe. But no, you'll be safe eating the same things. I mean, you do, you know, at the same time, nutrient diversity is an important factor. So I think varying up your nutrient sources. So again, I eat a lot of similar things, but the similar things I'm eating is I eat lots of, like my salad, it's a multi-greens. There's 5 different types of greens in it. There's onions, carrots, cucumbers, celery, tomatoes, broccoli, walnuts, blue cheese sometimes, egg whites, you know, and there's a couple other things too, but it's always some combination of those. So I'm eating lots of different things in there, but I mean that every day. So it's a lot of the same variety every day, if that makes sense. And I believe that's fine for you. Soul Speaker says choice makes me binge. Yes, choice makes you binge. Absolutely. That's a real thing. There's a thing called sensory specific satiety. And what that means is if you eat the same food, your taste buds, like kind of the neurons, like if you eat cake, at some point it stops tasting good to you. Sweetness stops tasting good to you. And you won't want any more sweet. Let me back it up. So, you know, you go to dinner, right? So their savory receptors get all switched on and say, okay, I'm good. I don't want more savory stuff. I can't eat more, right? So you've eaten dinner and you're like, oh, I'm stuffed. I can't eat any more dinner. But then dessert comes around and you're like, oh, I guess I have more room. Yeah. Why? Because it's a different sense, right? Now it's sweetness and those receptors weren't turned on. So now they're lighting up. So you're absolutely right. It's called the buffet effect. You know, there's another one. You go to a buffet, you can eat way more at a buffet than you can if you ate just like one thing from the buffet. You couldn't eat a ton of that usually. Again, there's always exceptions, but so yeah. So me personally, that's a huge part of my strategy of how I eat is I don't eat a lot of variety types of foods. Like I know, again, that's my superpower. You need to have as much variety as you need, but you should actively, I think, work to not have too much food variety because it just it triggers your hunger. There's things that trigger our hunger, make us hungry, and there's things that reduce our hunger. And if you want to manage your weight, you better figure out what those are and do the things that reduce your hunger. I used to eat all day long. I used to eat 6 times a day, all day. From the time I got up till the time I went to bed, I just ate I would be grazing all day long. And I look at it and I'm like, oh my God, how'd I do it? Well, I would eat again, I would eat white bread with Jif peanut butter, some cereal with sugar all over it. And then hour later, I'd have a donut or a croissant or a muffin. Then I'd have lunch, usually a sandwich and chips, maybe a soda, maybe a milk, the cookies or a brownie or something after that. Then I'd have a candy and a chips or some sort of snack, maybe a soda. Then I'd have my dinner. Then I did snack all night. So, yeah, but notice what the story there, right? Everything's always different, always hyper palatable and always different. So you're right on the money, Soul Speaker. So I personally believe, and that's one of my superpowers, is eating the same thing. I don't get bored with it. I like it because, would I like to eat all different stuff? Yeah, sure. By the way, I just want to make that clear. I absolutely, it's so funny. I went to breakfast today and I was laughing to myself because I'm like, when I got to breakfast now, I pretty much never get like pancakes or waffles or all that shit, but I used to all the time. I just get different stuff. But I just wouldn't eat that now because I don't want to start my day with that, even when I'm going out for breakfast. So I still have, rules in my mind. But again, so you're right on the money, Soul Speaker, that as you start to reduce the variety, I think you'll find that you have way more control over your eating. Very, very common. How do I stop a binge? You don't really stop binges. I will let you know. No, you don't. You don't stop binges. You can prevent them, but stopping a binge is a very difficult thing. That's like, stopping a binge. It's like at that point, metaphorically, I see it as like a 100-foot snowball coming at me 50 miles an hour. It's like, it's too big, overwhelming to stop it. What we need to understand is what triggered the binge, and what triggers binges usually is your hunger level. You're too hungry and you can't control your eating. Some emotional thing where you're really emotional and you can't, you're just in a state, fuck it, I don't care. Or it's just a habit. Every Friday night I'm done with work, I go and eat everything, or it's a combination of the three. So we got to figure out what's kind of leading to it first, and then we work to resolve it. So it's not about stopping it so much. It's about, so for example, if you're starving yourself all day and then you're binging every night, the way I would work on that is I wouldn't let myself get starving, and I would eat strategically throughout the day. And that helps to reduce that. If it's emotional, and so when I get really stressed, I go right to the food. I wouldn't try and stop myself from eating when I'm stressed. I would work on finding ways to reduce my stress and relax more that didn't involve food. So I hope that makes sense. Katie says, yep, I'm supposed to get 100 grams of protein a day, and it's super hard to do on lower calories. 100 grams of protein a day, huh? Katie, I got to get into it with you. I don't know. Like, I was thinking about you today when I was driving. I was thinking about, like, we haven't gotten into the, I was like, no, maybe I'll save it. Yeah. Supposed to get. I feel like more people struggle with weight because of this, right? That's the quote. I'm going to say it again. I'm starting to learn it. Let me see if I can just get it. Because if I could get this, I could save myself from looking this up 3 times a day. I just commit this to memory. It's the Mark Twain quote that what gets us into trouble isn't what we know. What gets us into trouble isn't what we don't know. It's what we know for sure that just ain't so. I got it. Right there. And I find more often than not, the thing that's stopping us from success, that the thing that's stopping us from success isn't what we don't know, but it's these things we believe that are bullshit. So yeah, that's one of the hardest parts. Robin says, my kid says I have room in my dessert stomach. Yeah, exactly. The dessert stomach, right? But it's really just a different sense. It's a different sense stomach, right? If dessert was savory, you wouldn't have room for dessert, but because it's sweet. And it could be the flip side around, right? You could eat sweet stuff and then something savory. You could probably eat that. So again, when it's different, it just, as I explained, right? It just feels different. Oh, crepes. Soul Speaker. Yeah, my doctor told me to eat cabbage every day because doctors don't know anything about weight. I mean, doctors, unless they're genuinely like interested in themselves personally, doctors don't know any more about weight loss than you do. And I know this for a fact because I go to the doctors and talk to them all the time, and they don't know shit. They just don't. Again, you might hit one that's just interested in it, but they don't, as a matter of their studies, learn about this in any systematic way. So that just is stupid. Paul says, Apple, walk, meditate, changing up Christmas to enjoy Christmas rather than stress Christmas. Thanks, Jim. Yeah, that's awesome, Paula. Paula, again, she's, I think she's going to have a much, much better Christmas. Right. And again, just because we're more strategic with it, just went through and said, well, what kind of Christmas do you want? And as soon as you ask that magical question, it's not that hard to figure out the answers or make it happen, if you can believe that. Okay, he says, no, say it now. Okay, I don't want to make sure because I don't, I always wonder that, like, what you want me to say here and what you want me to say for the other thing. But what I was thinking is your reading, Katie. We never really get down to your reading. You always kind of just blanketly say, well, I'm eating perfect. There's nothing. You always imply, well, I'm eating perfect. There's nothing left to cut out. I don't believe that. I hate to tell you that. I just don't. I know. I just don't. I don't. I could be wrong, by the way. I want to make that crystal clear. I could be wrong. But I was thinking we don't, I say this every time, right? Everyone's got their different challenges first for them, right? And clearly yours is a very deep mindset one. But I will let you know that mindset one that we continually kind of talk about, and again, it's necessary right now. That's just the path. It's you got to learn certain things first, right? If I'm learning an instrument, I can't just start playing great songs. You got to learn chord shapes. You got to learn, scales and where the notes are and different stuff. So it's just that thing. But we talk a lot about mindset stuff, but we haven't really gotten to the nuts and bolts of the eating. And you present as if your eating is perfect and there's nothing you could change. And I don't believe that. I think your weight's, I don't know. I mean, it'll go there. I don't know. Like there could be more to it, but I think this is what I think. I think you're starting to calm down now. You're not starving all the time, right? So you're not in panic mode constantly. And I think as you start to exist on a more calm, grounded level, I think what's going to happen is you're going to start to become more aware of where extra calories may be coming in. That's what I think and I believe. I could be wrong. I'm happy to admit that too. But that's in my heart. That's kind of what I think. Because I know we talk a lot about breakfast and lunch, but we don't talk about dinner. And I know maybe the dinners are locked down completely. They could be. And then there's the weekend sometimes. And so I don't know, is it locked down enough? I don't know. I don't know. That's what I was thinking. Because the weight's always reflects the food. As far as I've seen. What's up, Mario? Soul Speaker says, I have an addiction to spicy chicken sandwiches like Popeyes. What is a healthier alternative? Oof. I'm so glad I don't eat them anymore. I used to be a chicken sandwich machine. My order was 2 chicken sandwiches. 2 chicken sandwiches, please. Imagine that. Jesus Christ. What is that? Like 1,800 calories probably? That's the fries and sodas and bullshit. Yeah, that's tough. What's a healthier alternative? I mean, anything's kind of anything, almost practically, right? Practically anything's a healthier alternative than a Popeyes, chicken sandwich. But again, I don't know you enough to know, but you got to ask yourself that question, right? I think you're on the right path, right? What's a healthier alternative than a Popeyes chicken sandwich? And I wouldn't cut the sandwiches out. I would start to reduce them first, and then go to work on them strategically, not just like cut them out cold turkey. But, just at first, I don't know how often you eat them, right? If you eat them every day, my first goal would be like, I'm going to eat them 6 days a week. And then once I got kind of comfortable with that, then I'd come down to 5 days a week, and then 4 days a week, and I would work for an alternative for 1 day a week and see how that works for you and then build on that. That'd be my suggestion. What's up, Kermit? He says, yeah, we went over what I eat in a day on a call. It's not perfect, but it's pretty damn good. You're not wrong, though. Clearly something needs to change. No, I know we went over what I eat in a I think we went over what you ate that day. I just, again, I could be wrong. So I don't want to trigger you, but I think there's some blind spots. That's what I think. I just believe it. Why? I'll tell you why. I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to be honest. I've never met anyone like when we've kind of we'll calm down, we ground people in and we start really looking what the eating is. There's always a reason. I've never seen, I personally, I haven't worked with everyone on the planet. So I'm not saying I know everything. I do not. But what I'm saying is in my experience, and I've done almost 6,000 private weight loss sessions at this point, I have never worked with someone who, when we ultimately kind of get into it, there was something they were doing that was causing them to be overweight. And I told you the story. I know this is so egregious. You're like, well, I'm not doing that. I know, but I'm just saying it as an example. And I remember this lady sticks out in my head so much, but she's a smart, successful woman. And she's like, she gets on the first call. And she's like, I don't know. She's like, I'm here. I kind of trust you. I like what you're saying, but to be honest, there's really not much I'm going to be able to change. My eating is clean as a whistle. There's just, but whatever, I'm here. And so we talked about some stuff and blah, 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 blah. And she gets on the next call and she goes, well, actually, it turns out it's not as clean as I thought. And she goes, I get up, I snack from 8 to 10 every night, but I get up and go to the fridge and I'll grab something and then I'll go and sit down and eat. And she's like, I just didn't even notice it. I know like people hear that say that's ridiculous. But I mean, it's been person after person after person after person in my career that this has happened with. So again, you have to understand my bias is that when people say that, it's not that they're lying. I don't think people are lying to me. I think what's happening is they're kind of lying to themselves. They've just kind of, they've created a reality where they're not noticing or aware of the calories that are coming in certain places. And that's an egregious example. I get it, but I say it to you just to show you the point of our own self-deception, our own self-illusion, our own self-ignorance to some degree. Because it's not an attack, but it's just what I've seen is almost, it's been like 100% for me with my clients. It's always the answer that your weight is a reflection of the calories you're consuming. And I have seen person after person has convinced themselves that their eating's perfect. And the only reason they're not losing weight is because their body's broken. And after we've worked together, it's always turned out that the eating is not perfect. They're consuming a lot of calories they did not realize. And as they cut those down, whatever. And a lot of people do. This is the opposite of the negativity bias is kind of like the perfect day bias, where a person, thinks of their eating. Maybe it's been good the last 3 days. And like this, when I eat well, this is what I eat. But then they're not thinking about the days when they're in fuck it mode. Because when you're in different modes, when you're in fuck it mode, you're not aware of what you're doing. And so one day of fuck it mode I've seen people in one day put 13 pounds on. So again, it's not that 6 days a week you're eating maybe exactly on that thing. One day it may be totally opposite. I'm just using that as an example. But that's what I think, only because, again, I've just seen it so many times. And back in the early days, I used to be really confused and flummoxed. I hear people say, what's going on? Is there something in the metabolism? Is something? And just over and over and over again, it's always been that they're consuming more calories or the wrong type of calories, which it's kind of one and the same, but they can present a little differently. But Kermit says, how do I deal with always wanting to feel very full after eating? Oh my God. I will tell you, that was one of my biggest challenges. I would say after the nighttime eating, and there was a lot of other little things, but I would say my two biggest challenges, the number one was not eating after dinner. And that was the first one I took on, and I got a handle on that. But the other one that lasted the longest, it took me the longest to get under control, was eating to the point where I was stuffed. I would eat to the point, like dinner especially, I would eat too much 85% of the time. And I figured out other ways to kind of manage things so I could still be at my goal weight even when I did that. But I really did struggle to not eat a lot. And I will tell you what helped me the most is when I started nourishing my body on a way higher level, when I started consuming a lot more fiber, a lot more nutrient dense foods, a lot more micronutrient variety foods. And that changed me. That was the most profound change in my diet that I've ever experienced. And once I started doing that, I just felt a lot more satiated and satisfied, and it became way easier to make better food choices. So that was the physical piece of it. And what went along with that is a healthier lifestyle and mindset. So I was more calm, I was more relaxed, I was drinking more water, sleeping properly, quieting my mind, moving more, and that supported as well. And so those two things really helped me with that. Soul Speaker says, I have binge issues, addiction to Uber Eats, and keep saying I'll be strict after today. Yeah, stop doing that. You're not going to be strict after today. Again, you're not. That's the dieter's dementia, that you keep doing the same shit over and over again. And so what I would suggest is that you stop trying to be strict and you just work to get better, and program yourself. Then we're looking at 1% better every day. But what you're doing is you're doing the game where you binge, and then you're able to binge because you say, this will be the last binge. And then tomorrow I'm going to be, and what you're saying is I can binge and I won't gain any weight because I'm going to binge now. And then tomorrow I'm going to be super strict and I'm going to lose all the weight that I would have put on today. And it's bullshit. And so instead we want to live in kind of gray area. You're living in the black or white area and just keep flip flopping between them. but I would rather live in the gray area and just be consistently improving and getting better. That's why I said my goal wouldn't be to say, oh, I'm never going to get Uber Eats again. After this, I'm never getting Uber Eats again. After this, I'm never going to get another chicken sandwich again. That's bullshit. You are going to. And so my goal that seems much more realistic is on Mondays, I'm not getting Uber Eats or chicken sandwich. I'm going to make something healthy. And I'd start with that. That's more manageable. And if you can get yourself to do it, now all of a sudden you start believing, hey, wow, look, I changed something. I did it. And the ideal, you want to do it in a way that's relatively comfortable and easy for you. You know, what you're trying to do now is white knuckling. It's difficult and you're unsuccessful. It's a failure strategy. You know? Ah, Katie, there it is. Dinner is not locked down. LOL. Thank you. And I knew that. So that's what I was going to tell you on the coach. I'm proud of you, Katie. I'm really happy you said that because that's what I mean. I'm just telling you, like, as you start to calm down, and for you, as you start to change your goal, and part of it's being more calm, but as you start to calm down, you literally step into a different reality and you notice different things. I'm so happy to hear you say dinner's not locked down. Congratulations. Because now we're in the real world and now we can go to work on it. You know, maybe it's locked down half the time and not the other half. Great. So we work on locking it down more. But now you're in the realm of, oh, I'm so happy for you. Because now you're out of that you see, because again, you've been in that crazy mindset. You know what I mean? Once you calm down, the calm says, this is making no sense. My weight goes up and down. So I know it's reflective of what I'm doing. So I must be consuming these calories that keep my weight up here. And these are only thoughts you can have when you're in a calm state. And now all of a sudden, once you recognize that and you start believing it, now you start looking for the evidence that that's true. You say, oh, my dinner. Yeah, dinner is sometimes good and sometimes it's not. Great. Now we got something to work on. I would much rather be in that place. So, I don't know. I eat perfectly. There's nothing left to fix. And I'm not losing any weight and there's nothing else to fix. Everything's perfect. That's the worst place you can possibly be because there's nothing you can do. You're powerless. You know, so I would much rather be like, goddamn dinner. Half the time it's great and half the time it's not great. Great. Let's focus on that. You know, now we know, now we're back in the land of cause and effect and, okay, I'm not happy with it, but at least now we know what the issue is. So I'm really happy to hear that. And we'll talk about that next time. Sweet Quest says, I have devices in each room office. Can I download the app to all my devices? Yeah. It's just like Facebook or whatever, right? You can download it on your devices and go into it. So that's perfect, sweet. Yeah, get that on all your devices. Crazy Daisy, what's going on? And that app's just gonna get better and better. I get so much cool stuff. I'm about to work on it now for a little bit. But yeah, for the next week or two, I got a lot of cool stuff where I start using the app more effectively. So again, if you're in the program, make sure you get the Circle app and get in there. Okay. I'll send some more emails out this weekend to get you in there. Myra says, LOL, my order used to be 3 chicken sandwiches. I beat you, Jim. Holy shit. 3 chicken sandwiches. All right. That's so funny. Myra said, I'm so shocked, but I just don't even crave them anymore. Hey, great, Mario. You can remember that. Okay. It's important that we role model ourselves. And sometimes, you know, certain foods that we were addicted to kind of fade away. So pay attention to that. You know what I mean? Recognize and notice how that feels, you know, but great job. 3 chicken sandwiches, right? That's a lot. Crazy Daisy says, I have to get wait at the doctor soon, but just 3 months ago, I weighed 15 pounds less. So I'm so scared and embarrassed. Yeah. Doctor's offices are like that, you know? Where again, an acute point, right? You gotta step on there and face the music, right? And it can be tough. Well, don't be scared and embarrassed, at least, you know, get motivated. The scared and embarrassed isn't going to help you, you know, get that 15 pounds off and get yourself back on track. All right. So learn from it. Don't be scared and embarrassed, right? Okay. What happened? You got stressed. You started eating more, you started snacking more, whatever. Start to notice what you did to put 15 pounds on and then work on, you know, reversing those things. All right. I feel so ashamed knowing everyone will know I gained weight so fast. I get you, Crazy. I get it. I did that. Like I said, I've lost 50 pounds 30 years ago. And 12 years ago, I had a little blip where I put like 25 pounds on though, but I did the same shit. It was probably 3, 4, 5 months or whatever. I put that weight on and I knew it. I knew I was eating more and I just knew it. But I avoided the scale and then I had to go to the doctors. And I remember stepping on the doctors and I was like, holy shit, you know, I couldn't believe it. I faced the music. And, but here's the difference, right? Is I didn't feel ashamed and whatever, because stop with that shitty emotion. It doesn't help you. You know, the reason you put the weight on is because you started eating more somewhere. So again, let go of the drama and focus on the data. What did you change to put the weight back on? Start focusing on those things to drop the weight. The shame and the guilt and the frustration, if they helped you, I would tell you to use them, but they just don't help you. Okay. Let them go, relax, be annoyed that you did it. I was like, God damn it. That's okay though. I want to get this. I want to get this taken care of. And the good news is that you know how to do it. It's still fresh in your mind how you did it, most likely. So, just calm down and start to notice what you did to put the weight on, and start focusing on changing those things to take the weight off. All right. So we're fighting now. That's so funny. Elaine said, I love your honesty and common sense. We need that. Well, thank you, Elaine. I agree. we really do. I don't know. Like, I think this all day long, that the way weight's talked about in this culture, it sucks. It's so hard, and it makes it so much worse. Oh shit. Whoops. What's up, Derek? Derek says, hey, I recently did a week-long water fast because in hopes of losing lots of weight. And I did, but ever since I did that, I've been eating so much. I've been gaining and gaining, and my mental health has worsened so much. It's insane. Yeah, I need serious help. You seem like a smart dude. Well, thank you. Yeah, I am smart about weight mastery. I will give you that. I can't say that I'm smart about too many things, but certainly weight mastery. Yeah, I got that one covered. But yeah, sorry to hear that. I mean, again, that's the typical water fast story. So I feel bad for you, and hopefully you'll use this as a cautionary tale and avoid doing that again. Learn something from this and let it adjust your future behaviors. Aha, look at Don. Jim, I'm down another pound, 5 down since starting hypnosis. Nice job. Good job, Don. Mary loves herself. I think I'm so late today. I know a secret about you. Mary loves herself. Got my investigative journalist on the case, my private investigator on the case. Whereas Jim, when's your book coming out? It's funny you said. I was just thinking about that. I know December was supposed to be book month, and then it became app month. But I did get started pretty concretely on the book. So when will it be coming out? I'm so funny. And my wife, she knows me so well, because I was telling her, I'm like, yeah, December's all about the book. She goes, okay, get started on it. You don't have to finish it. I was like, no, I thought I should be able to have it finished by December. Well, no. So I don't know, sometime in the new year, but it is the big step forward. I think, they always say in yoga, the hardest posture is getting on the mat. And I think that the book is absolutely true, because I now have the program I'm working on it with, and I have the whole structure of how I'm writing it. And I took big steps forward. So I feel I'm further along with than I've ever been. And so we'll see sometime in the new year, I'm hoping though. What do you think of a gastric balloon? Gastric balloon. Okay. I haven't heard that one. I don't think much of it. I haven't heard about a gastric and looked into a gastric balloon yet. I know about bypasses and lap bands and stuff, but if it's equivalent, again, my thoughts on surgical interventions or medical pharmaceutical interventions is the same, that it's kind of a Band-Aid on the problem typically. And again, I think it's got its place. You know what I mean? Again, I think there's a time and a place for those things, and it's right for certain people. But again, it's not what I really do. Really what I'm after is more of a holistic personal development bent to it, mastering your weight once and for all. Oh yeah, Mary loves herself. I started to realize, Mary, I think you're telling me shenanigan stories about your friends, is what I think now. Dr. Helen, thank you so much for your time. These lives have really changed my whole perspective on losing weight. Yeah, that's awesome, Helen. That's what I'm here for. That's what I'm here for. I really appreciate that. Judith says, I kind of agree to set the ball rolling, as it were, but at the end of the day, it's about mindset. Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's always about mindset. And watch out for the get the ball rolling thing. That's a little bit of a trap. I see a lot of times, if that's what you mean, but a lot of times people say, I'm going to starve myself, just to get the ball rolling, just to lose some weight. But, you have to stop thinking that way, because don't invest any of your energy into short-term strategies. That's the best advice I could give you. If you start basing what you're going to do around the idea, is this something I'll be able to do long-term, and only do the things you're able to do long-term, I think you're going to find way more success ultimately. Right? Because what's the point of doing a water fast? Because again, just think of the mindset that it says, oh yeah, I want a water fast. Why? Because you love losing weight for a week or two and then putting it all back on. That's how would you want that experience? How's that going to help you in any positive way? So again, the idea that you're going to do something extreme to start losing weight, and then what, So to me, I just want to do things that are stabilized. I want to do things consistently. Yeah, consistency is key. In the program, we always say consistency over intensity. I would much rather be consistent with what I'm doing, even if it's small. And that allows, in the program, that's a big part of the philosophy. We start with little small things that we can do consistently, because once you're consistently doing small things, it's easier to start doing more of those things. as opposed to just implementing something extreme right from day one and then doing it forever. So again, it goes into a long-term mindset. Soul Speaker says, I have PCOS and insulin resistance, so never feeling full is my everyday. Well, the Soul Speaker, I got to tell you, from what you've told me, right, you're addicted to Uber Eats, you're addicted to Popeye's chicken sandwiches, and now you're blaming your PCOS and insulin resistance on never feeling full. And I would say, I'm not saying that's not a factor, but the way bigger part of the factor from what you said is the ultra processed food you're eating. Ultra processed food is literally engineered in multi-billion-dollar labs by chemists to be unsatisfying, so that you're always hungry. So I would absolutely, Soul Speaker, put way more of my focus on the ultra processed food. That's why you're always hungry. That's affecting your hunger way more than the PCOS and insulin resistance. My whole career has been helping people with insulin resistance and a lot of people with PCOS lose weight. That's not what's making you hungry all the time. It's the ultra processed food. I just want to make that clear. Billy says, but is there a way to keep the weight off after water fasting? Yeah, keep water fasting. Yeah, just water fast forever. That's easy, Billy. She just said the tendency to build momentum. Yeah, and again, but if you build momentum with small, consistent things, it's a different type of momentum. I get the momentum you think that you get from losing a lot of weight quickly, but it's a trap. I'm telling you, it's a trap, because even if you lose 5 pounds in a week, you ain't going to lose 5 pounds the next week, most likely, unless you do the same extreme shit. And at some point, your weight loss is going to slow down. You're going to feel discouraged and frustrated. And then the whole house of cards is going to fall apart. So again, the opposite version is you start building something with a firm foundation and you start building on top of it. Vicky says, what is the one that you would recommend right now as a kickstart motivator to read? Audiobook. What book would I say is a kickstart motivator? Boy, that's hard. It's kind of general. I know Vicky, so I'm going to tailor my answer to Vicky. Let me think here. Oh, okay. You know what book I'd read for you, Vicky? I think you'd like. I would say The End of Overeating. What's the other one? Salt, Sugar, Fat. If you haven't read that, I'd say one of those two. I think you might like those. They're really good. Billy, but is there a way to keep the water off after water fasting? All the flavor enhancers. Yeah. Oh, Billy equals Mary. Thank you, Katie. Oh yeah, Atomic Habits by James Clear. That's a great one too. But honestly, we kind of cover habits in the program, and I kind of condense a lot of what he says into smaller. I think it's a great book, by the way. I think it's a good read, no doubt about it. But I also think that Vicky's got that lesson in the program that would be shorter and just quicker, and then she can read another book that'll probably help her more. Yeah, Burn's another great one. But Burn, again, Burn's really good, but again, it depends what you're looking for, Vicky, like why you want to do it. But the Burn is so good. I love it. But again, the basic thesis is that just exercising more doesn't make you lose weight, because your body adapts to it. So that's crazy, and it's great to read it. But I think that the thing with Salt, Sugar, Fat, and The End of Overeating, those will really hit you right between the eyes with how you think about food. And there's a lot of other ones. Oh, Ultra Processed People. I think that's a really good book if you're struggling with ultra processed food. That's another good one too. Mariah says, oh yeah, have you heard of Water Drop? No, I haven't. I haven't heard of Water Drop. What's that? Basically natural water flavors to drink more water. Oh, okay. Yeah. Again, I'm not against water flavors. I mean, me personally, I want to drink regular water because I want to condition my tongue to like bland flavors. That's part of my process. Right. So I like bland. I like flavor too, by the way. But again, it's always relative. If you're constantly cranking up the flavor, you lose sight of things, and if we keep ourselves grounded at a bland, natural flavor, that's a relative thing. And the more bland you enjoy, like I love drinking just regular water. I love drinking just black coffee. I didn't always. I trained myself to like those things. But because I like those things so much, it makes everything else easier, because that's my bland basis. So it makes eating my salads easier. And it grounds my taste buds to more natural levels. So that's part of my my intention and desire with the water as well. You know? You mentioned burn. I'm interested in my body, especially mental motivation, mind, body. Mind, body. You know what? Let me look. I always tell you this, but like I read so many books that I kind of forget them. So I have to look at my little digital brain here. Let me see. Ooh, Hooked was pretty good. Hooked is pretty good, actually. That's what maybe I'd recommend that one. That's a little bit of a combo, you know. That's by the same guy as Salt, Sugar, Fat, but it's a little bit more on the addictive nature of foods. So maybe I'd say that one. Oh, the 4-Hour Body book. Yeah, right. That's a Tim. Yeah, I read that. I like that book too. It's a lot of stuff in there. It's pretty good. She said it's good to exercise, but I find I get hungry if I overdo the exercise and end up eating. I find once I start drinking water and get used to it, then I want it more. Yeah, I agree, Judith, with both of those things. And that's exactly the idea. And again, the burn book for me was especially validating because I've been saying for 30 years, 20 years professionally, I tell my clients, don't with the exercising, just leave the exercising alone. And again, exercising is great for a lot of other reasons, but weight loss wise, it's not great. And so it's really nice having that validated because yeah, again, when you start exercising more, you're more tired, you're more sore. You get the licensing effects. So you're hungrier as well. And then there's licensing effect on top of that. So typically you're going to think you exercised off 500 calories, think you're eating something that's 200 calories, but it's flipped around. And so people, it's proven now. They've done studies where when people just crank up the exercising, it doesn't help them lose weight because again, it causes you to eat more, you know? And people, it turns out, aren't that great at estimating what they eat. Sometimes they think they're eating less, but they're actually eating more. So they got to recognize that. Yeah. All right, I'm going to get out of here. So funny. It's funny that people get out of here and just ask stupid questions. That makes me laugh. But I appreciate you all. I even appreciate those of you that come up with different usernames to ask different dumb questions. I appreciate that. Mara says, do you think there are any fast food places with somewhat okay food? Subway, maybe. I don't know. Subway's kind of my D'Angelo's. I don't know if you guys all have D'Angelo's. That might be a Northeast thing. I eat D'Angelo's sometimes, but and I was thinking, I wanted to share this with you real quick. I don't focus on this enough because I talk about like, oh, the holidays are here and I'm eating more food. But I think one thing I wanted to mention is even when I'm eating more food, it's almost always natural. I don't mean natural food. Like what do I mean by natural? It's like, it's not ultra processed. Like I never eat at any of the fast food places short of even Subway. I don't eat there anymore. But if I go to Subway, I get a veggie sandwich. You know what I mean? It's lettuce, tomato, you know what I mean? It's just that stuff. Probably not the best quality produce in the world, but it's still produce. You know what I mean? Like, what it is. Even the tuna I stopped getting there because it's like it's not even tuna, but whatever. So, yeah, I to be honest, fast food places, I've been to like Shake Shack a couple times this year, and I get their veggie burger. I don't like it. Even Burger King has a veggie burger. My kid will get it and loves them. I just don't want it. I don't want their bullshit in my body. I don't like it. It's literally designed to make you hungrier and eat more. I don't know why we don't realize that yet, but whatever. So, I mean, I don't want to be, there's always healthier options. What did I get? Oh my God. I went to Burger King and that was so funny. Cause I don't even like their veggie thing, but I get the fish sandwich. Oh my God. Oh, that was the first time I'd eaten there in like a long time. And it's when you eat normal, natural food and then you eat this stuff, it's gross. That's my impression of it. So whatever. Jim, what do you think about the drones? I think it's crazy. I think we're living crazy times. I think, yeah, fucking drones just flying over us and no one say anything. I don't know. It's crazy. It's a crazy world we live in, isn't it? That's what I think. Yeah. Subway seems healthy to me for some reason. Maybe the advertising, and it is advertising. That was Dan Kennedy's a marketing guy, but he used to always joke with that, how powerful marketing is when like you make a weight loss campaign that's built around eating a loaf of bread. So, that's a funny one, but in reality, I mean, everything's relative. So, if now when I go to Subway, it's healthy. Like, again, you all aren't going to Subway and get what I'm eating. I get the veggie delight. That's what I eat. It's mayonnaise, lettuce, tomato, onions, whatever a couple other vegetables are. So I'm not getting there. I used to eat their shitty cold cuts. You know what I mean? And I used to eat all the shitty meats and all the rest of it. And then if I go to D'Angelo's, it's the same thing. I'll put cheese on the D'Angelo's thing, but it's peppers, onions, lettuce, tomato, onions, so it's bread. But again, I'm not eating things like and even their bread's way better than I don't want them fast food buns. Even those buns are made to get you addicted to hunger and overeating, So yeah, it's definitely advertising, Lamar. You're so right. Yeah, Subway's so much bun. It is so much bun. That's what I mean. Like, that's the joke. It's like the fact that, what weight loss plan, it revolves around eating a loaf of bread a day, right? That was their big thing. Cause that pervert got oh, funny. Imagine of all the people you could pick, you got to pick the worst guy on the planet to fuck your shit. But he did lose weight, but again, you can lose weight doing anything. You can lose weight eating McDonald's. So again, whatever. I wouldn't suggest building a diet around Subway, would not be my impression. However, if I was given a choice between almost any fast food place and Subway, I would probably choose Subway. I think it's a little bit better what I get. So depends what you get. Okay, Jersey Mike's can be healthy too if you order. I've never been to Jersey Mike's, but again, I think so. That's what I was trying to say. Though, like I'll eat more during the holidays, but I'll eat more cookies that I made. I'll eat more, like good bakery stuff. Like I'm not eating packaged bullshit. I eat very little of it. So even when I'm getting squishier with my eating, I'm still eating non-ultra processed foods. I'm eating very little processed foods. Like I've, some people, oh, Jim, I could never do, I enjoy food too much. Fuck you. I enjoy food as much as anyone in the world. I enjoy it so much that I don't want to eat your bullshit stuff with all the preservatives and the ingredient list this long. I enjoy it so much that if I'm going to eat a croissant, I'm going to go to the bakery on the street that makes it with these whole grains that are locally, grown and milled and all the rest of it. So I've taken my enjoyment of food up levels. I'm not just shoving shit in my mouth that just tastes good. My brain goes, oh, this is good. I'm not living my life that way. I'm going to exert a bit more influence over the foods I choose. So it all adds up though. So even when I'm getting a little squisher in my eating, I'm still eating very, natural foods to some degree. They're high quality. Yeah, there you go, Don. Yeah, I get the veggie delight on wheat. That's what I get exactly when I eat there. And I haven't eaten there in a while, but yeah, if I was going to go to Subway and eat something, that's what I would get. And that's the place. Like if I'm out in the world and I need to eat something, I'm probably looking for a Subway. That's the main thing I'd probably be looking for. Short of if I'm on vacation, but I don't know. To be honest, this year, 2 times I got Shake Shack veggie burgers, and 2 times I did not feel good afterwards at all. So that food just does not agree with me anymore. And so I might be back to the Subway things, but I rarely do that. I mean, to be honest, like if I was in a pinch and I had to go to a place, I'd probably go to Subway, but more almost exclusive what I will do is I will just go to a better, like a place that makes their own food to some degree. Is kind of what I'm looking for. But I don't travel a lot either, so don't take that too what I say. Apparently there was some lawsuit saying that the bread wasn't real bread. Yeah, I'm sure. That's what I mean. These corporations, it's just Christ, everything. It's a never ending race to like the bottom of how much they can squeeze every nickel out of everything. I don't want to speak shit about it. There's a big place around me in New England, the big coffee place, and they sell donuts there. And it's been amazing because I've been going there my whole life. And it's like the last 5 years, it's the shittiest quality now. I get donuts down the street at the local supermarket, and it's like they are way better quality, than this other gigantic, enormous chain. They're just trash. They're just shit donuts. So it's like if I'm going to get donuts, I go to that place. Is kind of like, the place that's where I'll go. And then sometimes I'm really serious about my donut. I'll go to a place. It's literally it's called Adam's Donuts, and it's like a small, it's just this dude just bought it. It's changed hands a couple times, but it's just regular people making regular donuts with regular ingredients. and it is a little bit more, yeah, and I'm happy to pay it. It's a better experience. So again, the quality of the food to me is extremely important. And so I really, it's always important. Whether I'm on track with my eating or not, the quality is always an important thing to me. I don't find shitty quality fast food enjoyable. I think it's fucking gross, personally. That's what I think. And Coco says you're amazing. Well, thank you. Appreciate that. And remember, folks, if you do think what I'm saying is valuable in any way, remember, click the link in my bio, go get the hypnosis session and get inside my world there. Just said, yeah, totally agree. Sometimes you have to be a little bit fast. Yeah, of course. But yeah, we got to be flexible. Got to have some flexibility. You got to be a little bit fussy. Okay, yeah. Both. When was the last time you ate fast food? Yeah, last time I ate fast food, I would say was probably, I ate fast food 3 times this year, which is more than I've eaten in years. And it's when I went to DC, went to New York City, and driving home from a vacation trip. And so twice I went to Shake Shack, and once I went to Burger King and got a fish sandwich. And all 3 times I couldn't believe how fucking gross it was. So I'm not saying you might love it. You know what I mean? I used to love it. So taste is relative. That's a thing to remember too, that what you enjoy and find good is a relative thing. It's not absolute. And so as you start to eat cleaner, that food just tastes less appealing. When you're eating shitty food all the time, it tastes amazing for a moment. So yeah, I don't want to eat fast food. Why? Because I've studied it. I know what fast food is. And so because I know what it is, what they put in it, what it's designed to do, my desire for it is way lower. Probably, again, I relate it back to like cigarettes for you. You're not fighting against cigarette cravings. The way you think about cigarettes, you have no cravings for it because it's disgusting to you. It's manipulative. It's gross. And that's how I feel about fast food, because I've read so many books and I've researched so much stuff about it. I see behind the marketing and I see exactly what it is. I don't want to put that in my body. I'm not saying I would never do it, but I don't really want to. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, quality over quantity. Absolutely. Also, who is the one making fake accounts that's insane? I'm not gonna say their name yet, and plus they keep changing it, but it is so funny. Yeah, Katie's on the case, dude. Katie's the PI. I love that though. That's so funny, and I'm glad you do it, because it's like a lot of times I don't really give a shit. It's like I don't mind it, but it's now that I just see it, it's just dumb stuff. What is that? A private investigator emoji? That's awesome. So he goes, I have devices in every room. Can I download it to all the devices in each room? Yeah, you should be able to. Devices, though. What's that mean, actually? So yeah, I mean, if it's iPad, phone, computer, you can put it on all those things. All right. Fast food 3 times a year is honestly unbelievable to me, Jim. Wow, do you even crave it? No, I don't crave it at all. And I know 3 times sounds amazing. I understand that. It would have sounded amazing to me at one point, but you have to understand, before this year, I ate fast food short of Subway. I had Subways but I never even eat Subway anymore, really. But before this year, I ate fast food 1 time in the last 15 years, and it was Burger King, and I got a veggie Whopper, and I felt like shit afterwards. So I know I do not crave fast food at all, So I know that may sound crazy. I get it. Again, it's not about like, oh, tomorrow I'm going to stop eating fast food. It was a gradual progression. So I can't stress that enough. But as you start to really pay attention to food and nutrition, what it is, the cravings for it start to fall away. They do. Because when you really start to understand what it is, what it does to you, it just becomes a lot less appealing. Not to say that's not appealing still, but it can get that way. I promise you. It says, even when I see the adverts of burgers, it looks sickening. Yeah, I mean, I'm a vegetarian too, by the way. Please let it be known. I'm a vegetarian for 25 years. So that you have to understand, 25 years ago, if you become a vegetarian, please let me understand where we started from, though. I used to be a huge meat eater, like meat multiple times every day of my life. And I know this because I was raised Greek Orthodox, and every Easter time we'd have Lent where we stop eating meat. It was the hardest week of my life, So, and I used to eat I wasn't like crazy with the fast food, but I would eat fast food for 4 or 5 times a week. I'm looking at you say that I'm not crazy with it, because I would eat 4 or 5 times a week, like once a day. And because I guess now I know people that might eat it every day, 2 times a day, something, but I would eat it 4 or 5 times a week, and It was a regular part of the whole thing. And so, but as I became vegetarian, first I started getting more with the natural food, and that I started getting my mind around. But then I became vegetarian, and back 25 years ago, if you were a vegetarian, you couldn't really eat any fast food. There were no alternatives. And so they just kind of faded away, and again, I would say Subway was the one that kind of stuck with most out of everything. But yeah, even that faded away over the years. And so yeah, but I mean, this year I had it 3 times, but before that, it was literally like once in 15 years, like one time. So I'm not saying that to brag, by the way. I'm saying it because I used to love it, and it used to be a part of it was just, I would go to McDonald's multiple times a week, Burger King, at least once a week. KFC, I love KFC. Jim Dandy's, that was the other chicken place, So funny. It feels like a lifetime ago, but that things change, if your mindset changes, your behaviors change. And so I just live in a different reality now. And I know it sounds crazy, but the point I want to keep stressing is it's not a willpower thing. It's not that I want those things and I'm stopping myself. It's that I think about them differently now, and I don't really want anything to do with them. So, yeah. What's the best multivitamin? I don't know. I'm not really a multivitamin person. I mean, to be honest, I'm not being snarky here, but to me, the best multivitamin is my salads. I have giant salads 4 days a week, with each one's got 5 greens in it. There's onions, carrots, cucumbers, celery, peppers, broccoli, walnuts, egg whites, blue cheese sometimes, so that's kind of like that's my multivitamin. Fast food's garbage for your body and health. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, because you said, yeah, you evolved. Yeah, exactly. It's an evolution. And that's what I'm trying to say to all of you. Like what we're looking to do here is not just lose weight. We're looking to evolve as people, evolve our thinking, evolve our lifestyle, evolve our eating, so that we can live as a thin, healthy, happy person for the rest of our lives. But it's a process of evolution. It's a process of learning and growing, and dieters don't think that way. They just think I'm just going to be the same person. I'm just going to change how I behave. And it doesn't work that way. All right, I got to get out of here. Geez, that's on here way longer than I anticipated, but that's how it goes sometimes. So again, if you're not in my world, please go to my bio, click the link, get the hypnosis session, and watch the video, read the emails. A lot of cool stuff coming out. I know it's the holidays coming up. So again, it's not about losing weight. I'm not going to be busting your chops to eat perfect during the holidays. So what I'll be talking about is being more relaxed and calm and enjoying the holidays as much as you possibly can. Okay. And that's what I want for you all. So again, go check that out. I'm here usually Monday through Friday. Obviously, next week we'll see what goes on. But I'm usually around noon Eastern. So if you want to pop in here, ask questions, hear what's going on, it's live. And if you want to listen to the replays, it's Program Yourself Then's the podcast, and you can find all the podcast platforms. So yeah, thanks everyone. I appreciate you all being here. Have a super duper weekend. And if I don't see you before Christmas, have a nice Christmas time as well. And yeah, we'll talk soon. Bye.